Hello, David here, and we're going to replace the cover. Got a new one in the bag. All sealed up. I'll show you why. We're replacing spark plugs, but I am going to replace the cover. It's a T40. You do this 4 times. You cannot take these out, so you can just spin them forever. It'll be fine. Same thing going in. You can't over tighten them or break them. They'll just finish up here. Watch. See? So not a problem. Don't need that big a number for plastic. So we'll take all 4 of these off. Jeez. There we go. So, let's see, this guy was a rent-a-car before we got it. And let me get the light on there. And you can see a mouse or something got a hold of it. Shoot it up. Okay, while I'm waiting on FedEx to get here with the spark plugs, I'm gonna prep the cover without exaggerating. Tax, title, tags, shipping, handling, the whole 9 yards. I'd say about 160 for this part. Geez, what am I, dyslexic? 31657646, and that'll fit them all from 2016 on up. To the bag. Looks like it slips right out. Oh, good. Oh, I saved the covers. The hardware, but I guess I didn't need it. Okay, let's see how old you are. I have these sticky labels, and I will mark 1 by the fan belt. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the same engine on all Volvos from the end of 2016, but let's say 2017 forward. This is the same 2-liter in all of them. This one's turbo. When you get up to the really big ones, it'll basically be turbo and ram charge. And I think the T8 is a double engine. Something's going on with the T8 I'm not familiar with. No, this is not a T8. I just changed it from a 5 to an 8. Abracadabra. Now it's a big, huge luxury sedan. Alright, I have the coils marked. 1, 2, 3. You can't see 4, but it's there. Okay, I'm going to demo the easy one. This is number 3, but it's super easy compared to many other vehicles I've had the pleasure to work on. Squeeze and release. Push down on the tab right here. Pull it out. Easy peasy. Snaps right on. Click. Pulls right off. Alright, next is the coil hold down bolt. We're going to break that loose with the 8mm. So we'll just first make sure that it's loose, and then we'll hit the gun. We'll do that 3 more times. Alright, it doesn't look like a bottomless pit if something goes wrong, but I'll use my magic wand to remove the bolts. Alright, next we're going to remove the coil, and it kind of pops right off here. I already started it. This is what it looks like. You want to inspect it, make sure there's no oil on there. That would be very bad news. So it looks like only number 4 over here. It's going to be a problem. I may have to remove this hose. Don't know if there's enough flex to get it over. We'll see. Doesn't matter, but you know, do what you have to do to get them out. And of course I've labeled them so I'll know where they go, with one starting over what I'm calling the front of the engine, which is where the belts are. Okay, looks like I'm going to be able to get number 4 out. I'm going to kind of demo it here and see if, yeah, came out. Getting it back in might be a little problem, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, number 4 was the worst, but I wanted to show you that just a quick shot that it'll clear the hose and the fuel line. So no problem. And remove the spark plugs and install the spark plugs by hand. This is a hand job. I am a big electric tool guy. I like Milwaukee tools. I spend the extra money on Milwaukee, but this is strictly a hand job, and I'm not kidding. So I hope you like my humor there. I don't know if you can hear it squeaking, but they all squeaked. And really tough. And let me show you about see how that sticks to it. Whether you have rubber or plastic or whatever in your spark plug socket, you need it to take it out, but don't use it to install it. Okay, let's talk about tools to remove the spark plug. Let me put my Motivation lubricant down. And I have seen no less than 6 videos on YouTube saying 5/8. Well, I am here to tell you that 5/8 does not fit. I don't know what the heck they were working on when they said they were working on the 2-liter engine. But 5/8 does not work. And the reason I have a deep well to prove it is because the spark plug socket, you know, has that little thing in there to grip on the end to pull it out. So let's talk about installation. Okay, if you don't have let me go back to uninstalling. You can use a 14 deep well, or you can use a 14 millimeter spark plug socket to remove it. However, if you use a spark plug socket and if it has a rubber boot or something, a collar or something to help you pull it out, take the collar off when you install it. Let me get the spark plug socket here. Because the last thing you want to do is pull your socket out and leave the collar on there. You might not see it, and you are going to have a bad day, because when you put the coil back on, it's just not going to fit. It's not going to work. You're going to be fighting it. You're not going to understand what's going on. Or maybe the next spark plug is now real loose, and you try and put it in and it falls out. You know, just all kinds of problems can happen. So let me show you how to fix that for installation. So what you can do is get a paper towel or some tissue paper and cut a small corner off of it, just, you know, like that. And typically I just stick some paper in there and sticks, but for this installation I found that it's a little bit more loose than I anticipated. So anyway, you just want to get it in there. Don't get your glove in there. There you go. Now it's in there, but when you pull it out, ta-da! And then you can easily fish that paper out with, you know, a hook or whatever you got. You can get the paper out. So that's my tip of the day. Alright, this is 30,000 miles, which is about half-life, but it was a rental beforehand. So here's number 4. I have to zoom out here. So here's number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And number 1. I think they look pretty decent. I do see some debris on that one. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll look at the new ones. All in all, not too bad. A little bit around here. Let's talk about lubricant. I was going to lube these up when I installed them. Now, I always start back. I don't go all the way to the end. And then I only do about no more than a ½ inch. These are pretty long. So maybe about a ½ inch all the way around. And that way I can feel it when it gets started into the cylinder head. And don't forget, that's the top of the cylinder head. And then it'll spread it down. And the reason for that is I don't want anti-seize in the really hot zone. I don't want it to even be able to drip and run down here and get into the firing area. Also, it's not going to go far into the cylinder because the cylinder top is going to start here and spread it down. So going into the cylinder, only the top and about ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch will have lubricant on it. Just enough to break it loose in the future. You know, don't need to slop it the whole length. Have it squishing out the sides here by the sealing gasket. You know, I just don't like that because 99% of the time I don't use lubricant. This is readily available on all auto parts stores. It says 1600 Fahrenheit, 870 Celsius. It's decent. It's not the copper. It resembles the N5000 I used to use when I was in construction, power plant construction. However, I do like the John Deere better. The John Deere Never Cease claims to run from 1800 Fahrenheit or 982 Celsius. And it seems to be quite a bit like the N5000 I used to use, which I ran out of years ago. So I'll put just a little swath of that onto the new spark plugs for reinstallation. There's just a little bit of debris in there. I'm going to try and clean that out a little bit, again, just so I can have a baseline fresh start kind of deal. Alright, doing a little bit of cleanup, and during my cleanup I noticed that you know, there's a tremendous amount of aluminum. See how the magnet sticks there, doesn't stick here, here, doesn't stick anywhere on the engine, anywhere on the white painted surfaces. Oh, got a little bit of, oh, I see, it's a support bracket. It's a magnet there, but it's, so this support bracket right here is metal. This tower for the strut tower, is non-magnetic. So quite a bit of aluminum in there. Quite a bit of plastic and aluminum. And the power steering fluid goes right there. Just kidding. Electric motor, no power steering fluid. So the steering assist and the power steering, when you're steering like out of a parking lot or traveling slow or something, is electrically assisted. I've done a couple of oil change videos, but the dipstick, where's the dipstick? Where's Waldo? Well, there is no dipstick. It is in the display panel between the driver and passenger seat in the center console. Alright, if you need to jump the car, here's positive right here, and here's negative right here. So, because the battery in the trunk, you're going to really fight to gain access to that. I would only do that if I could not access the hood for some reason. You know, I don't know. Pulled into a parking space, whatever. Yeah, nothing really to see in the fuse box. You might have a relay go bad on you. The fuses should never blow. I haven't replaced a fuse in years. So, 4 clips, one on the front, one on the back, one on the left side, one on the right side. So, the way they work is you pull them up this way, not out that way. Push them in. Air filter right up front. It's a 60,000 mile air filter. No need to change it. I already looked at it. I didn't film it. Okay, our spark plugs have arrived. 316730604. The box is sealed too, so let's see. Let's see what it looks like. So far, so good. And it looks like I stayed on camera. Alright, reassembly. Okay, because I'm going to be handling Never Sees, I'm putting gloves on because that crap goes everywhere. And I'm going to wrap up the area that engages the socket. If I can keep my glove out of the picture. Get that in there. There we go. Like that. Notice I kept the sleeve on because I'm pushing on it. Another reason to use the paper, it's at an angle. Some of them are straight down. And the last thing you want to do is drop your spark plug down the hole. Especially these that are at an angle, because what's going to happen? It's going to collide with something and it could close the gap. Now I know it's not, you know, likely, but it could happen, and that will mess up your day, I guarantee it. Alright. Get my Never Sees on there. Okay, I'm going to demo everything on cylinder number 2. It's going to go in at an angle like this. And I'll get it in there. Yeah, I kind of dropped it a little bit. Let me feel around, make sure I get it correctly. Feels good. Probably all in the way. There were no instructions on the spark plug. NGK says like half a turn for new plugs and a quarter for used plugs. Let's see if I can get a half a turn on here. Yep, sure can. And out comes the spark plug socket, and the paper should be down there. I'm going to go fish it out. Okay, I'm going to do number 4 now, since that's actually the toughest one. Actually, it's going to be tougher for the coil than it is to put in the spark plug. So, get that started, get the paper out, and finish it up. Since this is a tough one, I'm going to demo putting the coil on number 4, since it's a real joy to get down in here. Again, I can use my paper trick. I don't need gloves, but anyway, I can still use my paper trick if I'm worried about dropping it. Plug the connector back in. Tighten that down. All right, 3 more to go. Okay, I was filming, so I kind of went out of order. So I have a lessons learned. You should do everything one at a time. All 4 plugs, then all 4 coils, and then all 4 connectors, the electrical connector to the coil. I highly recommend that. Whether you go 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 3, 2, 1 or any order, it doesn't really matter. It's just spark plugs, coils, connect. And the reason for that is if you connect it, it'll be in the way of the next spark plug. Like if you go 4, 3, 2, 1, and you hook everything up, that connector right there is going to be in the way of 3 getting in there. All right, I'm ready to put the cover on, but I'm going to do a tool check and start the engine, make sure it runs smoothly, make sure everything's okay, everything's connected, and all that good stuff. Sounds good to me. My gosh, I couldn't get the hood open alarm to go off. It was trying to think that I was going to drive off with the hood open. My goodness. Okay, I got the sound cover on. You can just push it. You don't have to shoot it with the gun. I have a 1. So, say you don't really need to do that. You can just push it. And voila, we are done with the spark plugs. Yay. Just need to put the tools away. And thank you for watching.